And welcome to what we're calling Fine for Ben Lesnick. Hi, Ben. How are you today?
Hey, I'm not too bad. How are you?
Good. Very impressed with your team after spending so long there on Friday. You guys work your rear ends off, and I don't think many people realize how hard you work.
Thank you. That was a particularly stressful day. In fact, I'm sorry I couldn't hang out with you more, but I'm really proud of the work we do. It's a lot of fun being here,
Yeah.
even on busy days like that.
Well, everything was cool until I took my chair away and moved it into the office to shoot the 5 for the designers, or 10 for the designers, I think it was. Yeah. Then it was like sitting on that metal, I guess it was a chest or something for a little bit.
Yeah, that helped hurt your butt.
Small office, really, really tightly packed, lots of things going on there, and still very little stress. So that's the piece that impressed me the most.
It really is a good place to work.
All right, so let's get on with these questions. I'm going to ask you the first one, which I'm pulling right out of the sales from last week. You introduced the paint system, which I guess is a hit right now. I like it a lot and did a video on it. Will there be user-created paint? Will there be a user-created paint system, and how do you envision that being implemented in the game?
Yes, there will. We're kind of moving towards that right now. First step was to create our own developer tools that let us paint things more and more easily. So right now there's a host of ships that we can say, hey, here's a skin, and a artist can spend half a day and come up with a skin for that using tools exterior to the game. But everything is done functionally in engine. So theoretically not theoretically, absolutely down the line, we'll be able to say, okay, here's your paint ROM, and it does exactly the same thing as our more oblique designer developer tools do right now.
Okay.
So the goal, we tested on the Gray Cats. It worked. Put it out in the Auroras. I think you'll see next the skins expand to be the Auroras and the Mustangs. The Mustangs are actually skin ready now. Our goal will be first to kind of create a universal skin system, which we're getting very close to. And then after that, we will go to building a paint room for people to actually paint and design their ships in the Star Citizen world.
Oh, I like that, because there's a lot of ships out there, and having them all look the same wouldn't be as immersive. So,
No, we know everybody wants to color the ships they can. In fact, this is an example of something very early on. We knew everybody wanted this, but Chris was not willing to promise it until we got to the point where he knew it could happen in the CryEngine. We're comfortable with the system now and can talk about it.
Okay, awesome. So a lot of the things that are going on here, it's kind of like pioneering every piece of the game. You get to a certain point, and you have to create a system that wasn't there before.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so on the last show, there's one of my backers, or I should say one of my followers, is a little confused, and I wasn't able to answer this question. You stated that insurance was going to be in-game time. Now, there's two sections of people that were in that thread in my video, and some were saying, oh, I could play the game for 6 months and have to buy insurance, and the other was saying, no, a day is like 3 hours in the game, so it would be 6 months of game time. Which one of those do you think it's going to be more like?
The thinking right now is that it is game time, so an hour is 3 hours or whatever we end up coming up with, but it's only time elapsed playing the game. So it's basically, I know that insurance is the system that everybody is looking for. Oh, they're trying to screw us. And it's not going to happen. We're going to come up with a system that's fair to everybody, especially early backers who promise this stuff. We're never going to be using insurance as a way to cheat you or take extra money or anything like that.
Okay. So on the next question, we're going to move into the repair and damage control system. So can players and or NPCs repair battle damage as damage control techs? How will the game mechanic work? I think there's a lot of different questions in here. Let's just go for the design aspects of it, since I'm sure this isn't done yet.
So the idea for repair, is that it should be a fairly in-depth sort of an engagement. You don't just press repair and then your ship goes up to 50, 75, whatever. We want you to actually have to go out to the part of your ship that's damaged. When it's internal, we do imagine that sort of beating it with your hammer to fix it, run to the engine room, have your engineer beefing up the engines. The bigger part of repair is going to be EVA. One of the reasons we have an EVA system in the first place is because we want that kind of absolutely terrifying experience of leaving your ship either during or just after a battle to conduct repairs. And it should be a risk opportunity also. So, hey, I could get a EVA team out there to repair my ship's radar during combat, but they might also get picked off by an enemy fighter. So we want a pretty comprehensive system there.
Okay, so going a little bit more in depth, do you envision having to plug holes in the hull, or possibly have a stock of repair parts, spare parts that you have to put in for say, flux capacitor lying around to replace the one that you lost?
Yeah, that is what we're talking about. Our A35 antenna is damaged, send out somebody to swap it out. Or, there's a big hole in the hull, send out somebody with, Quickcrete to spray it. How in-depth that gets is up in the air right now,
Okay.
but that is the goal.
That's pretty cool. It could lead to a very long engagement with people, but I like the idea of this. This person is wondering if in the FPS, besides the main and sidearm weapons, will there be melee and hand-to-hand combat?
Oh, yeah, that was a stretch goal. That will absolutely be included.
Isn't there like a polearm, or is that the crossbow that's being the crossover between Star Citizen and Richard Garriott's project?
Yes, we get a crossbow, they get a polearm in their game, I believe.
And then there was another game that there was a crossover for, right?
I don't think we've done an item for another game, but we do try to promote other
Okay.
aircraft games when we can.
I thought it was the one with the horses. I can't remember the name of it.
Oh, right. I don't think we did an item, but we're certainly sharing technology with those guys.
Okay, amazing. I can't wait to see how they come out with that.
Oh, yeah, their game's looking great.
Now, this gentleman just got a freelancer, and he's wondering, let's see, I'm curious about the game elements in it that might be shared. Say, for example, will there be a way to secure a jump point and prevent it from being used?
The thinking behind jump points is that maybe, but it should be extremely difficult. We don't want a situation where one player, Preferred, decides to go camp a jump point and prevent anyone from moving, because the whole flow of commerce, information, everything goes through a jump point. So our thinking is that rather than a specific point in space, you have like a cube of space where you could theoretically come out of a jump point. So you can't, I don't know if you ever saw the Wing Commander movie, and if you didn't, you absolutely should, because it's a cinematic masterpiece. So you can't do the thing at the end of the Wing Commander movie where they sit at the jump point and wait for the ships to come out.
Shameless plug.
But let's say if you had some huge fleet of guys, maybe you could go and work to interdict a jump point. It should be something that's very difficult for a lot of people to work together to do.
All right, that's a great explanation. I envision people trying to blockade it. I mean, we have Operation Pitchfork that's going to be invading Vanduul's space, so maybe this is something where people block a jump point into the Terran system, or maybe into Earth's, into the Sol system. All right,
I can see that too.
Yeah, this one was asked before, and in the lore, I know what this says, but let's hear what you have to say for this. Actually, I wish David was here to answer this one. Will we ever know more about or be able to visit the Vanduul homeworld?
I would not say no, but I can't reveal future storylines.
Okay. Now, the lore behind it says that they don't come from, they're clans. They don't have a homeworld. They're just roaming space. It's kind of like the lore behind it.
Yeah, the Vanduul have... in fact, I actually wrote some of this where they travel from planet to planet and they have like different hunting grounds. A little bit of predators are in there, but they got to come from somewhere too. So something out there. Okay,
I thought you were trying to steal that from the Predator series.
No, well, I did. I just stole it a while ago already.
Okay. All right. Is there more information about the current relationship between the UEE, Xi'an, and Tavaran?
I'm sure there is information, but I do not have it. No changes yet. Changing that is going to be the player's job.
Okay. So currently, we know that the Tavarans have been conquered and they're living on different planets within the UEE space. And the Xi'ans have their own space, like their own sector of space, but we're cooperating. There was a big lore item about the Xi'ans having like service stations opening up inside of the UEE space now. So I guess that's where we're at, and we'll leave it at that.
It's all ancient Rome, so the UE is the Roman Empire, probably a little bit past its prime, starting to show its cracks. The Cheyenne are, these ancient, they're like this culture like China that has existed for all this time, and maybe it hasn't really encountered Rome so much, but there's a little bit of trading going on, and there's a lot of mutual distrust. That's where that came from.
Okay. I like the idea of it being ancient Rome. It's pretty cool.
It is. We want to. Chris likes to start with a base like that and then evolve it in his own direction. But we certainly are imagining a lot from. It's a very fertile playground.
When I ask these questions, sometimes I feel some of these people are new and they haven't gone back to like some of the 10 for the Chairman episodes. Because this one I think I've heard before. What are the ideas being floated in relation to our being able to trade our ships or sell them used in-game?
Sorry, repeat that again?
What ideas are currently being floated in relation to our being able to trade our ships or sell them used in-game?
Oh, well, that's just part of the game. You'll be able to trade or sell your ships as you like.
As you like? Do you have to go to some place like a showroom to put your ship up for sale, or is it going to be like Craigslist where the guy comes to bring money and you get to rob him?
I saw the bird on Craigslist like that once.
It just happened today in Atlanta.
Some very weird people who come to get a free bird on Craigslist, I'll tell you that. But the idea is that there's going to be different levels of it. If you want to, absolutely guarantee your sale, both parties agree and the ship is transferred, the money is transferred, then you have to go through the government through some formal process, and that'll take a little off the top for taxes, that sort of thing. If you want to say, hey, meet me in Sector 15, bring your ship, I'll give you money, then you have the freedom to do that too. Just don't come crying to the government when you get ripped off.
So the Craigslist theft can happen, is what you're saying. Okay. All right, Ben, I really appreciate you doing this with me. I'm going to let you go because I know you have a busy week, and I will hopefully talk to you next week.
All right, sounds good.
Thank you.
See you then.